First
Thank
of
you.
all, happy belated Juneteenth and Father's Day. And congratulations on the biggest fucking fight of the decade.
Definitely. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Nika, you wanted to ask him a question.
Yeah, so I wanted to know, are we like the first two women duo to interview you on this press run that you're doing right now?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So yeah, that's
Yes.
great.
The duos.
The duo.
Yes.
Okay, y'all heard it here, guys. Y'all heard it here. So, so we're gonna play a game, like during the
Okay.
interview.
Yeah. So I'm gonna explain it. So after each question, I'm gonna put up a picture of somebody like in your life, or that you might have come in contact with, and you just give me some like the first thought that comes to your head when you see the picture. Is that all right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So the first question that I have is, so people think that shit happens overnight. Somebody fights and they're like, "Hey, who do you want to fight?" And they'll say a name, and then if the next day it doesn't happen, oh, you're a duck. So just give like the business of boxing for dummies, like in like a few sentences. Like how long does it take to actually make a fight? Because people don't
Well,
know.
listen. Well, listen. First things first. You gotta have two. It depends on what type of fight you trying to make. If you're trying to make a a fight like myself and Spence, of course it's gonna take time. You gotta have two fighters in the same division doing spectacular things on each side to where it's a build-up. Of course, people gonna say, "Oh, I want to see this guy fight this guy. I want to see this guy fight this guy," but those type of things take time because if everything happened on everybody else's time, there would be no super fights. There would be no fights where people be more interested in because we would have been already had those type of fights. So fights take time.
Absolutely, especially fights of this magnitude. I mean, there's
Definitely.
so much involved, and people don't get it. People just don't understand, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves when I see social media. And I try to stay away, and I don't get engaged, but I'm just like, y'all don't even know what y'all are talking about at all.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah,
nice on social media.
yeah. Half the time, people they just piggybacking off of what somebody else said. They don't have their own knowledge to speak on certain situations because they don't know. So you'll hear a lot of people say, "Oh, well, Terrence Crawford didn't fought nobody," because that's all they hear. They hear from other people saying, "Oh, well, Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. His resume is shitty and this and that and that." And this is because they don't have their own knowledge to know or their own research that they done to know the type of fighters that I fought. So
Absolutely,
they
you're right.
just say things.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And so we don't have like a certain signal, but Nike, I think it's
Yeah,
time
I
to
could say.
start
So my
game,
first
girl.
question, I wanna see first thing you comes to mind when you see one of your trainers, Red Spike.
That's my big brother. That's my big brother, man. That's my coach. That's my brother. That's my friend. You know, it's my bro.
Do you want to tell some of the folks a little bit more about him? Because I feel like a lot of people don't know about Red, and he's subdued sometimes on boxing Twitter, but I know he be wanting to go in. But
Red's a laid back type of guy. Red has kept me out of trouble ever since I was a little kid on numerous occasions. Red is like a guy that's, more conservative and more so trying to tell me what to do and what not to do as a big brother. Uh, Me and Red argue all the time. We always have our disagreements because I'm more so rowdy and he more so logical and thinking. So me and Red, we get along real well because when I'm slipping, he's there to pick me up. And when he's slipping or when he don't want to do something, I'll be like, all right, I'll give him that little nudge. Come on, Red. Come on, Red. So he always held me accountable for everything that I ever done in life, even if it takes us arguing or getting into it. He really never cared
I
because
like,
that's something that, you know, I mean, he felt I was wrong about or I was right about. So yeah.
I like that.
He's
I
not
like,
a yes man. He lets you know when you fucking up.
I
nobody
don't got
needs
no,
yes ma'am
You don't have no
yes
yes
I
man
man.
don't
around them. That's for
I don't
sure.
got no, I don't believe I got not one yes man
Huh?
in my crew.
All right.
That's a good thing. So I made up my own acronym, DKSAB. Don't know shit about boxing. So when people that don't know shit about boxing start with the personal attacks, like, you know, they'll post the fight and then they start attacking people that you love, people that you respect. How do you contain that? Like, you are so, like, you don't engage in that stuff. And I really respect that about you, because a lot of times people will, like, it'll hit personal, especially with somebody that they love. And then they'll attack back. So how do you stay calm whenever you see attacks on some of your coaches, your family members, on you? What goes through your mind so that you stay calm?
Well, half of the time I'm not even reading all that stuff, or I'm not even looking on social media to even look at those negative comments and negative things. But when I see it, I just say, look where I'm at and look where they at.
I
That's
like
it.
that.
That's
You
it. That's
know,
good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Short and
they
to the
they
Absolutely.
point.
they just jealous. You know, they mad at
Absolutely.
they mad at theyself. They disappointed at theyself. They got a problem with theyself because for a person to go out of their way and be on social media 24/7 just to talk stuff to people and that they don't even know, that they never gonna approach, you know, that just tells a lot about that person's character.
That is so true. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And then Nika with her
All
game.
right. So
Woo!
Saul, my coach, you know, Saul was like a mentor. Like Saul was like very spiritual. Saul was very self self-made, self-controlled. You know, Saul, he don't do the things that we do. Like say we go out, go shoot pool or go bowling. Saul will go bowling, but for the most part, Saul will be in the house. I'm gonna talk to my wife, or I'm gonna just chill out here. Like Saul don't do nothing, you know. So here, the time Saul will talk to me, he'll talk to me real spiritual. Like when Saul see something going on or something wrong with me, like Saul know how to get it out of me. Like half of the time that if I got a problem or if I'm mad or something, Bo McNair, they little secret little thing, hey, go get Saul. He ain't gonna flip.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna flip out on Saul. Or if I don't want to do something, they be like, go get Saul. You know, if I don't want to do another round of something, they be like, go get Saul. You know, and Saul would be like, come on, bud, come on. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, all right,
Yeah.
Saul. So Saul always been that person to get it out of me.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to him the other day and he was just like, he kind of got emotional. He was just like, you know, Bud is my son. Like, he's my son. I've known him since he was a kid. And like, now we got this big fight. I'm just so proud. Like, I could just see it in him. I mean, I know they all feel that way, but I could just see the emotion in him.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that was
And
beautiful.
everybody, I see the emotions in everybody, you know, because
Absolutely.
they know how far we came. They
Yes.
know where we all started. So
Yeah,
to start where we started and to end up where we is now is it's a blessing. It's a
absolutely.
blessing. And going through the things that I had to go through, they had to go through. Uh, it's destiny.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's already been written. It
Yeah.
really has. So where does the competitive nature come from? Like, you are the most competitive. Anybody that knows, like, anything, Miss Pac-Man, basketball, ping pong, chess, whatever. And I'm gonna get you in this, but we'll talk about that later.
I'm ready.
But yeah, let's go. But you know, where does it come from? As a kid, do you remember someone like talking to you and like saying, "You're the fucking champ. Like you can do anything you want to do," or is that just like in you already?
You know what? I think people is born with that type of competitiveness in them because I can remember when I was a little kid getting in trouble in school in like kindergarten and first grade because I used to cut the line because I wanted to be first.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
it was just something that like I never wanted to lose in nothing. I always wanted to be first. I always was a leader. I never wanted to be a follower. And that's something that my mom and my dad installed in me, like always be a leader, never be a follower. And all my coaches was just always telling me how to never give up and to keep striving to be the best, no matter how undersized you is, because I was one of the smallest ones on every team that I ever played for. I was one of the smallest high schoolers at ninth grade at 4'11", so
Wow.
I always had to work extra hard because I was small. So I just had that mentality of like, you're not gonna beat me,
I
and
love that.
it played in my favor in everything that I ever did.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's not cockiness, it's like confidence. It's like knowing whatever you put in front of me, I'm going to hurdle it. I'm going to conquer it. And that's something that not many people have, you know. They don't.
Definitely.
So, look, Crystal said, just like your daughter, whenever she lost her shoe on track, that is so true. I
So
mean,
also, I
that
wanted
video
to
was
highlight.
viral.
I'm glad Crystal posted it. It's like Crystal is one of your biggest supporters. She's been to every fight except one fight of yours. So I
Yes.
Yes,
just wanted to
yes,
highlight her as one of your biggest supporters. Um, yeah. So shout
Yeah,
out
yes.
to
she's
Crystal.
fucking awesome.
Krista, she's a big fan, and I appreciate her dearly, and she's always been there, and she know that I see her as well.
Yeah,
Love.
yeah, I can't wait to like. I saw her. I think in Omaha or somewhere. We were no, where were we at? I don't remember. But I'm gonna see her in Vegas too. I can't wait. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a
Yes.
good
Yeah.
time.
All right. So
So
I have Womack.
yeah, okay, yeah, here we go.
All
Let's
right,
get on this game.
Bomac. So me and Bomac, we got a great relationship, more so like a father son, like a big brother, like a uncle. Bomac is all that in one. Bomac been knowing me before I was even born. He hung out with my mom, hung out with my dad, was close friends with my uncle. So Bomac been around the family for decades before I was even thought of. And
Wow.
me and Bomac, our relationship is, we everything. We partners, we brothers. He's my dad. He's somebody that I can go to and vent to, just like all my coaches I can go to and vent to. But for the most part, when I'm really going through things, I will always lean on Bomac or Red uh, every time. And Bomac can sit there and he'll talk to me for hours. Young fella, you got to stay kosher to the game, young fella, or you got to, change this up in your life, or you got to do this. And he always, no matter what I was going through, like it or not, he always gave me the right advice. Whether I was mad that he didn't agree with me or not, he just always gave me the right advice. And that's one thing that I love so much about Bomac is I trust him, I believe in him, and yeah, like everything that he ever told me, he never told me nothing, no lies, or never strayed me wrong in any way, shape, or fashion.
You know, and I love that because a lot of boxers out there, they'll have like one coach or one of their parents or whatever. And I always say, I mean, Bud has six eyes on him. Like he's got three coaches. They're not jealous of each other. They don't try to take the spotlight. They love and care about him, and that's why it works.
Yeah, definitely.
Because where else have we seen that? We haven't. We haven't seen that. And that's one of the many things that I admire about you and your camp, like for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's one thing that I always felt I had the advantage over other fighters if I got 3 minds. A lot of people they say, "Oh well, it's too many people in the corner talking and this and that and this." Well, I'm I thrive in chaos,
Yeah.
which is no chaos in my corner. But while the fight's going on, all three of my coaches is conversating with each other, letting each other know what each other see and what's going on, because they all might see different things. And when I come back to the corner, they give me the proper instructions that I need.
Absolutely. And a lot of people don't know this about you, but I mean, I've been blessed enough to see you like work corners, and you're fucking awesome. Like you see everything. Like whenever you're working a corner, like you tell your boxer like exactly what to do and how to do it. And it leads to my other question because one of my kids in camp, Juju Balo, who Mick Queen, highlights him a lot. He wants to know, what are you going to do after boxing? Like, what are your plans? Like, would you coach or what do you think you would do?
I don't know. I was asked that question before, and my answer was I don't know because I'm so focused on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't alter my mind to even think about what's after boxing because I'm so focused on the task at hand, and my mind is already set on what it want to do, and that's become welterweight champion, undisputed champion of the world.
Which is definitely what we know you're going to do. I was blessed enough because Red had to be somewhere else. So I was blessed enough to be able to work a lot alongside of y'all whenever Maurice Hooker fought to be the cut woman. And what you're saying as far as like the corner, it was just so calm. It was so composed. Everything just worked together so well. And I just, it was a symphony. Absolutely. Oh, we got another picture.
So this is a young Bud. So when you see this picture, what comes to mind?
I when I see this picture, it reminds me of my son Tyrese. Yeah. He looks so much. He looks so much like me in this picture. Is crazy. It's kind of scary, but at the same time, when I look at this picture, I just see this little innocent looking kid that was bad as ever.
I see it. Look at his eyes. I see that badness right there.
Didn't know what he wanted to do in life. He wanted to box, but at the same time, he wanted to do so much more. He was very talented. He was very mean. He was very disrespectful. Like he was just one of those kids that when you see him and you got to know him, you was like, oh man, you're gonna end up in jail or dead. But at the same time, you got so much talent and so much potential where you can do better things in life. That little kid got kicked out the gym because he wanted to talk back to the coach and not listen. He wanted to fight his teammates on the basketball court. He wanted to fight his teammates on the football field. That was that kid. He just loved to fight.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. He's like, test me. Mighty Max says, does Bud have wrestling experience? I have multiple videos of him grappling. Let me just say that I'm gonna say something real quick before he answers that. So I don't know where we were, maybe in Vegas, I don't know where we were, but one time I walked into the gym and Bud fucking took me down to the ground in wrestling, and I was like, okay, I can't get out of this shit. So what's your answer for that?
Yes, I actually used to wrestle in middle school and before middle school, but wrestling wasn't for me. I didn't like wrestling all too much because unlike other people, I believe, I grew up with some studs that was 4-time, 3-time state champions and Division One. It was tough. It was tough, and that just made me want to fight. Having somebody take advantage of you and you can't do nothing, and everything's competitive, especially on a wrestling mat. So you got those guys talking stuff to you and you talking stuff to them, and they slamming you, putting you in the pretzel, and it ain't nothing you can do about it. So I used to always find myself, because I had a high temper, I find myself always trying to fight. I was always trying to fight. Like, all right, you can slam me, but can you whoop me? I bet you I'll beat you up. And that's
Mhm.
one thing that I always, resorted back to is fighting, throwing my hands.
This is one of my daughters saying, she was looking at that picture. She said, you look like you needed a whooping.
Mhm. I think I got too many of them. That's why I was immune to pain.
Right, made you mean.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, they have never seen like your personality. You're like usually really quiet as far as interviews and like on social media and stuff. Um, so what made you say, you know what? Fuck it. Like this is a really big fight that everybody's been waiting for. I'm just gonna go ahead and go out all balls to the wall. Like what were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking nothing. I just think the the respect factor in Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, what we got amongst each other is it's just I can be myself. I guess a lot of people want to see the real Terrence Crawford, but I always felt as if a lot of this stuff is for show. A
Yeah.
lot of a lot of times people want the real you just so they can come in your life and tear you down or try to hurt you in a way to where you do something stupid or you go crazy.
Get
So
out of
I
character.
always
Sue you.
I,
Yeah.
I I always kept my personal life, well, try to keep my personal life and my boxing life two separate lives because in my mind, well, not even my mind, in reality, they really don't care about you. So I gotta be mindful of that. That it's just entertainment, and once it's over, they're gonna forget about you and they're gonna move on to the next
Absolutely.
talent.
Absolutely.
Some
No, you're right.
some fans, they will be there to support you to the end. Like you got some fans that